Most of us can remember the exact moment we decided we weren't math people. It happened in grade school while staring blankly at a page of fractions, or perhaps it was the jarring introduction of the alphabet into algebra. We were taught mathematics as a disjointed series of tedious chores: memorize the tables, follow the rules, and show your work. We grew up believing that mathematics was a cold, sterile, and punishing subject. But this is not just a failure of education, it is a tragedy of perspective. Mathematics is not merely a tool for balancing a checkbook or calculating the load-bearing capacity of a bridge. It is the source code of reality. It is the invisible scaffolding upon which the entire universe is constructed. Today, humanity stands at the precipice of a new era. We have built machines made of silicon and electricity that can process human language, generate breathtaking art, and simulate reasoning. When confronted with artificial intelligence, the public tends to view it as either magic or a burgeoning biological consciousness. But when you strip away the hype and the sleek user interfaces, you do not find a ghost in the machine. You do not find language or feeling. You find numbers. You find vectors. You find the geometric distance between two mathematical coordinates. AI is not thinking, it is multiplying. This explosive new technology, which terrifies and awes us, is built entirely upon the exact same logical engine that ancient Sumerians used to count their sheep, and that Isaac Newton used to map the stars. The machine hasn't changed. For 10,000 years, humanity has been using the exact same invisible scaffolding to build our understanding of reality. But because we have never seen the machine as a whole, we are standing on a precipice, and we don't know how to navigate it. It is time to redefine what mathematics actually is. To understand how to navigate the age of AI, we must see math not as a list of rules, but as a mechanism with 4 specific pragmatic functions. The entire discipline is built on a single, radical, ancient innovation. First, we invented the empty vessel. This is the number. A number is not a physical object, it is an abstract, frictionless placeholder. Early humans didn't just count apples, they stripped the physical properties, the color, weight, and taste, away from reality to leave behind pure logical representational distance. An empty vessel holds no bias. Once we had the vessels, we needed a way to process them. So we built the deterministic engine. This engine consists of fixed operational rules: accumulation, addition and multiplication, and reduction, subtraction, and division. This engine functions without subjective bias. If you put the proper variables into the engine, the output is an absolute objective logical pattern. The entire structure of modern mathematics depends on what you do with this engine. This bipartite split is the missing piece in our understanding. If you take the logic from the engine to construct, explore, and simulate logical realities entirely independent of physical laws, you are engaged in pure mathematics, the infinite conceptual canvas. But if you take that same abstract logic from the engine and assign physical units to it, meters, seconds, kilograms, you are engaged in applied mathematics, the empirical exit. This is the framework of the scientific method. Applied math is how we use pure logic to verify the objective empirical reality of the universe. This new definition isn't just a metaphor, it is a functional, philosophical tool. By strictly using this 4-part structure, we can instantly dissolve paradoxes that have baffled humanity for thousands of years. Take Agrippa's trilemma, the 2,000-year-old proof that says certain knowledge is impossible because every proof needs a proof, leading to an impossible, dogmatic assumption to anchor logic. Our framework neutralizes this trap. A mathematical axiom like 1 + 1 = 2 isn't a dogma, It's just the empty vessel. It is an initialization parameter. In mathematics, we aren't claiming axioms are true, we are merely stating, if we assume this structural parameter, what logical pattern emerges. Agrippa is neutralized because the engine requires a starting variable to run, not a religious belief. We also resolve the demarcation problem and Karl Popper's criterion of falsifiability. For 100 years, philosophers argued about whether mathematics is a science because you can't physically test it. We solve this by splitting the discipline. Pure math, the canvas, is not science. It's a closed simulation. It doesn't need physical verification. But applied math, the empirical exit, isn't just science. Math is the exact rigid architecture that makes falsifiability possible by converting poetic concepts into measurable numerical predictions. Math isn't the fragile hypothesis. Math is the unbending ruler against which reality is measured. Finally, we escape Zeno's paradox, which claimed that motion is impossible because you must theoretically cross an infinite number of halfway points to take a single step. Zeno's paradox is a mechanical user error. He was confusing the infinite canvas with the empirical exit. While the pure canvas allows an abstract number to be divided infinitely, the physical universe does not. Space-time has a bounded lower limit. The paradox only exists because Zeno tried to apply the infinite nature of the pure canvas to a finite physical reality. The bipartite definition builds a firewall between the two, dissolving the paradox. Perhaps most powerfully, this framework dissolves the ultimate ontological mystery, the unreasonable effectiveness of mathematics. How is it that abstract math, created inside the human mind, maps perfectly onto the physical universe? How is it that mathematicians frequently invent purely abstract, useless concepts like imaginary numbers, only for physicists to discover decades later that the universe relies on that exact math? It is not a miracle, it is a logical inevitability. By separating the cognitive mechanism from the objective output, we end the oldest war in mathematics, Platonism versus formalism. We acknowledge that while the cognitive engine is a human invention, formalism, the logical symmetries it processes are discovered features of objective reality, Platonism. We invented the telescope, the engine, but we discover the stars, the symmetries, by looking through it. Because the engine is exhaustively calculating every possible logical symmetry in the space of the infinite canvas, it is statistically inevitable that physicists, using the empirical exit, will find the specific simulation that maps onto our local physical universe.
Finally, we can use this exact logic to demystify AI. Our definition forces us to stop viewing AI as a human-like mind. AI isn't using biological metaphors or evolutionary biases derived from navigating gravity. We used human biology to invent the deterministic engine, but the engine itself functions without friction. An artificial neural network possesses zero biological data. It is a functional coordinate. Biological humans built the engine, but the engine itself processes variables without friction.
We can no longer afford to see mathematics as a rote chore, nor can we allow the public to view it as an archaic tool superseded by smart machines. Mathematics is the machine. We are currently crossing the threshold into an era of synthetic thought, and if we continue to miscategorize mathematics as an ambiguous construct, we will fundamentally fail to understand the modern synthetic mind we are building.
We aren't failing logic. We are struggling to learn the vocabulary of a universal language. Mathematics is neither a physical science nor a religious dogma. It is the unbending ruler against which all physical and conceptual realities must be measured. By embracing the bipartite architecture of mathematics, we elevate logic from a philosophical vulnerability to its rightful place, the ultimate epistemological truth filter of human inquiry.
The transition from the clay tally marks of Uruk to the quantum bits of synthetic thought is separated by thousands of years, but it is connected by a single unbroken logical thread. By understanding this architecture, we stop fearing the complexity of the modern world. We are no longer just counting the sheep, we are speaking the language of the cosmos. Buy the book Empty Vessels and the Deterministic Engine at fine booksellers everywhere, or find out more by visiting geometricthor.com.